Devotees, and thank you so much for joining our call today on the auspicious occasion of Nityananda Trayodasi. So we'll talk briefly about Nityananda, and then we will also talk about a read about him from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let us do that momentarily. I'm going to bring up the books, but after this brief prayer to the spiritual masters. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padkamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganang Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Okay, welcome Kiran Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
So,
Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam. So we will go by the order of appearance. I know Jyoti Mataji likes to go a little later. So we'll start with Uttara. And then we will go to Garima. Then we will go to Jyoti. I'll start sharing my screen momentarily. And then we have Kiran. And who else do we have? 4, right? Okay. That's good. Let me start sharing my screen with you. So, Kiran Mataji, you missed a little bit of it. Before we join, I was telling that today is Nityananda Trayodasi. So, we will be reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita about Nityananda Prabhu, the glories of Nityananda Balram. And we will do the Bhagavad Gita next week. Like that.
Thank you. Thank you much.
All right. So, our reading order today is Uttara, Garima, Jyoti, and Kiran Mataji. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
That's very good. Okay, so I'll just give a little bit of a brief overview on Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya is the soul, and so Chaitanya Charitamrita is all about the soul and the character of the soul, and comes into play through various episodes. Also, the word Chaitanya is used for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And who is Lord Chaitanya Prabhu? Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a combined incarnation. So combined incarnation basically means that when Krishna is there in the heaven, in the spiritual planets, he comes down as is, as whichever way he is, in that very same form he comes down here, but he can combine with other spiritual elements. So Krishna used to be very pleased with the devotional service that Radharani offers. The best devotee of Krishna is Radharani. And she, so Krishna, and she, of course, she does a devotional service to him with a lot of love, affection, and, a lot of commitment to that. So, so Krishna used to just wonder that what is it that that Radharani enjoys so much? Because it seemed like Radharani is enjoying the devotional service more than what Krishna enjoys by being offered devotional service by somebody else. And the example that Srila Prabhupada gives is that if you are a sugar cube, then you don't enjoy the sweetness. The sweetness of the sugar cube is enjoyed by those who suck on the sugar cube, right? They get to know about the sweetness of the sugar cube. So, so Krishna wanted to get that feel and get that experience of what it means to be a devotee, and what exactly is devotional service, and how does devotional service give you so much of joy. So obviously he combines with Radharani, who is the best devotee. And when Krishna and Radharani, they combine and come together here in the garb of a devotee to preach the glories of devotional service to the rest of the world, then that form is known as Chaitanya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now we know from Krishna Leela that Krishna's brother is Balram. So when Krishna comes down from the spiritual world down to this material world to carry out his pastimes, he doesn't come alone. He will come with his whole troop and his family like that. So Balram, whom we all know, right? Krishna Balram, Dauji, as we know him. So in the Krishna's Leela as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in that form when he comes, then Balram also comes. And he comes in the form of Lord Nityananda. So today is the appearance day of Lord Nityananda. And all these pastimes happened about, 500, 550 years ago in Bengal. And so towards the end of Dwapar, a lot of bad things had crept up into people's devotional service, and primarily they started to interpret the Vedas in the wrong way, and they would quote sections from the Vedas to say it is justified to eat meat and things like that. So to stop that, Krishna came in the form of Buddha, and that's why in the Dashavatara Shrotra we sing the song Keshabdhita Buddha Sharira, like that. So so when Buddha comes here, the first thing that Buddha says is that, do not follow the Vedas. Do not follow the Vedas because people were interpreting it in the wrong way, but focus on non-violence. That's why you see the Buddhists are, or at least of those days, used to be focused on non-violence. And then, so when people started weaning away from eating meat and etc., so their consciousness was a little bit purified. But it was still too early to start talking about Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and to quote from Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says so easily, Sarvdharmani parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, that you just surrender unto me, or man mana bhav mad bhakto, or just do prayers to me. So um, so then what they do is that they say, okay, people have been purified, or at least, not purified, but at least cleansed of the dirt that comes from eating meat eating and other, alcohol and all that kind of things that people were starting to do. So then Krishna asked Lord Shiva to incarnate as Shankaracharya, who came and preached and said, okay, he tried to bring in the element of God or concept of God by saying that you yourself are God, right? And so that, at least people started taking to, although people say they are God, they will still do some worship of other gods, like, they will worship Krishna, they'll worship Shiv, Ganesh, like that they do. So at least there was some improvement, or at least some steps taken towards devotional service at that time. And although Lord Shankaracharya also wrote the poem Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam Murdmate. So he says that, you should be bhajing to Govinda, but he would say that in a concealed manner, saying that, okay, you are God, but you Bhaj Govinda, like that. And so after that, when that cleansing happened in the society, then it was time to replant the concepts of devotional service. And that is why Lord Krishna comes in the form of Lord Chaitanya and brings in the bhakti cult in India, and is totally focused on devotional service there, right? And of course, as I was saying, in his pastime, Lord Nityananda Balram is none other than Balram. And as you read the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and other books which are written pursuant to Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will see that in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes there are so many plays, actors, right, are there, or prominent figures are there in his pastimes, and the documentation will point out and tell you that such and such a person is that person in Krishna Leela. This one is that person in Krishna Leela. Like Rupa Goswami, who took lessons from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami is actually Rupa Manjari. So she's like, a servant of the gopis. Like that, there's a very nice correlation and documentation that is available. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is more close to our times, only 500 years ago. And as compared to, say, like thinking about Dwarka or what is that? Treta, or Dwapar or Satyuga, which are millions and millions of years away, right? So pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very close, and then you can even go to Mayapur and see the places, Mayapur, Bangladesh, where all these pastimes were held, Jagannath Puri, Sri Rangam and all that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had traveled in many places in India, and he was preaching the bhakti cult there, right? So with this background information, we will just go and start reading the glories of Nityanand Balram. And it doesn't matter if a paragraph is small or if a paragraph is large. I just want you to, whatever is there, just stick to your paragraph. Like, take it as Krishna's mercy and read it. The reading order is here on the screen. And then I see Uttara has raised her hand. So Uttara, go ahead with your question.
Mataji, like there are so many avatarams of God when we read Bhagavatam and when when you explain this. Why Dasavataram is highlighted as those 10 avatarams only, like projected in the many places?
Yeah, it just depends on the mood of the people. The writer focused on only this, but there are many. But for us, the key point to take is the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, where the scheduled incarnation of Krishna are described. So Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He can come if he likes to come. He can come or not come to this material world. He can come at any time that he wants to come because he's Lord and Master, right? So his will is free will is there. However, he's also committed to coming at certain times in during the cycles of the yuga, right? So in that particular chapter, there is a lot of description about the various scheduled incarnation, and these incarnations, as like some might appear once in a yuga, some might appear once in the day of Brahma, some might appear only once in the lifetime of Brahma, like that. Some might appear once in the lifetime of every Manus, right? That there are 14 Manus. So like that, they might come, right? And so Kapil Dev is also an avatar. Like that, a lot of avatars are described there in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. But towards the end of all that, after all these have been described, there's a very beautiful verse, and it says, Ete chamsa kalapamsa, Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam, Indrari Vyakulam Lokam, Vidyante Yuge Yuge. So it says that, Ete chamsa kalapamsa. So it just says that, all these incarnations of Krishna, and there are many more than what are there in the Dashavatara Stotra, that there are all these incarnations that I have described are just a part of you, Krishna. So they're just a part of you, Ese Kam Chamsa, because when Krishna incarnates, there are many, many flavors and many, many ways in which he can incarnate also. So he says, well, these are just, small parts, just cha amsha, they're just amshas of you. Jeshe ete chamsa kalapamsa, Krishna su Bhagwan swam, but Krishna, you are Bhagwan. Bhagwan means that you are the foremost, right? Nothing beyond you, nothing less than you, nothing more than you, like that, right? And everything is less than you. So our Krishna su Bhagwan swam, Indrari Vakulam Lokam, right? So Indra Ari means an enemy. So Indra Ari means Indra is basically the king of all the demigods, and demigods are devotees of the Lord or the Suras. So he says that those who are enemies of the Suras, which basically means the Asuras or the demons, right? So Indra Ari Vyakulam Lokam. So these demons, they make the devotees of the Lord Vyakul, distressed because of the bad activities that the demoniac personalities do. So Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridyante Yoge Yoge. So in order to give relief to these people who are being tortured by the demons, Krishna, you are Bhagwan Swam, and you keep on coming to us a yoga after yoga after yoga, like that, right? So the key takeaway is that, we are here, we focus on Krishna, or any of the literature pursuant coming from our parampara, which is the Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya. So we just stick to that. But all the avatara that are written in the Dashavatara is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's just the mood. And these are more powerful avatars. There's a book called Laghu Bhagavatamrita. You should read that. It will have a lot. You can get it from the temple. It goes much more deeper into all these avatars there. And it's very esoteric. Yeah, it's very esoteric there. Okay, so the reading order is there, Uttara, Garima, Jyoti, and Kiran. And like I said, that just stick to one paragraph. If the paragraph is small, doesn't matter. Uttara, you are starting with a very small paragraph, but it's okay. We have many, many paragraphs in this chapter. Okay, so let's get started reading. Chapter 5 from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the glories of Lord Nityananda Balram.
This chapter is chiefly devoted to describing the essential nature and glories of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Lord Sri Krishna is absolute personality of Godhead, and his first expansion in a form for pastimes is Sri Balarama.
Beyond the limitation of this material world is the spiritual sky, Vyoma, which has many spiritual planets, the supreme of which is called Krishna Loka. Krishna Loka, the abode of Krishna, has three divisions which are known as Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokula. In that abode, the personality of Godhead expands himself into four plenary portions: Krishna, Balram, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. They are known as the original quadruple forms.
Jyoti?
Beyond the limitation of this material world is the spiritual sky.
The next one in Krishna Loka.
Per Vyom, which has many spiritual planets. Now I have seen. The supreme of which is called Krishna Loka. Krishna Loka, the abode of Krishna, has three divisions, which are known as Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokula. Gokul. In that abode, the personality of Godhead expand himself into four plenary portions: Krishna, Balram, Padyuman, the transcendental Cupid, and Anirudh. They are known as original quadruple forms.
Yeah.
Hare
So before
Krishna.
thank you, Bhadri. Before we go to Kiran, Kiran, you're in a position to read, right? You can read. Yeah. So what I'm one thing, it's Pradyumna, right? That's the name, Pradyumna, and not Pradyuman, right? That's how we pronounce
Okay,
it, Pradyumna.
Pradyumna. Okay.
Pradyumna. Okay. So that's there. And then also, as we are reading, as we sit down together to read all these verses, all these chapters, so it's also important that when others are reading, that we should be listening to what they are, right? That's how the whole chapter will get into our consciousness. Okay. So Kiran, go ahead. Is it visible? Is the font okay? Size is okay?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. And I don't know, Kiran Mataji.
Kiran Khosla, no? Mataji, I have to read?
Yes. There's only
Oh.
one Kiran today.
Anji. In Krishna Loka is a transcendental place known as Sweda.
Shwet-dweep. Shwet-dweep. Dweepa. Yeah. Shweta-dweepa.
Shweta-dweepa.
Yeah.
Shweta-dweepa or Vrindavan below Krishna Loka. In the spiritual sky are the Vaikuntha planets. On each Vaikuntha planet, a four-handed Narayana expanded from the first quadruple manifestation is present. The personality of Godhead, known as Sri Balram in Krishna Loka, is the original Sankarshan attracted deity, and from this Sankrashana expands another Sankrashana called Maha Sankrashana, who resides in one of the Vaikuntha planets. By his internal potency, Mahashankrana maintains the transcendental existence of all the planets in the spiritual sky, where all the living beings are eternally liberated souls. The influence of the material energy is conspicuous there by its absence. On those planets, the second quadruple manifestation is present. Hare Krishna Ji.
Outside of the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal manifestation of Sri Krishna, which is known as Brahmaloka. On the other side of Brahmaloka is the spiritual Karana Samudra or causal ocean. The material energy exists on the other side of the causal ocean without touching it. In the causal ocean is Mahavishnu, the original Purusha expansion from Sankarshana. Mahavishnu places his glance over the material energy, and by a reflection of his transcendental body, he amalgamates himself within the material elements.
Yeah, so I'll stop here. So if you notice that in the beginning of the paragraph, they said once outside the Vaikuntha planet. So inside he's talking about how he expands, right? Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Niruddha, and then from Sankarshan comes another like that, right? And then, so we talk about the spiritual sky, and then we talk about that Golok Vrindavan is where he lives, right? Now, or Shwetadeepa, that's a term that they use. Now, here, after that, you read, outside of the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal manifestation of Sri Krishna, right? And it's an impersonal manifestation of Sri Krishna, which is known as Brahma Loka. Now, all along, when we talk about the impersonal manifestation of Sri Krishna, what is the word that we were using all along, all these years? When we
Om.
talk about the impersonal manifestation of Sri Krishna.
Om. Jyoti.
Yes, which Jyoti?
Uh,
Brahma Jyoti, right?
yeah.
Right. So we have been talking about Brahma Jyoti. So now here, what is this here? What are they saying here? Outside of the Vaikuntha planet. So Krishna has imagined there are lots of planets, and in amongst them, there's a planet even on top of that. And in that planet, Krishna lives there in that planet, right? And then he's saying outside of these Vaikuntha planets, so Krishna's planets as well as those other planets, spiritual planets, which are presided over by Narayan, right, or Vishnu. And how many hands does the Vishnu have in those planets? Did you read it?
4.
4, right? Yeah. So there are 400 forms. The Vishnus are there in the Vaikuntha planets. And among all the Vaikuntha planets, one Vaikuntha planet is the highest, and that is Golok, where Krishna is there and with 2 hands, right? And a flute in his hand, like that. So just start imagining like in your head. Okay. It's very important to visualize that. You can close your eyes and imagine that there is a planet right at the top where Krishna is there. And then after that, below, there are many, many Vaikuntha planets where Vishnu is there in every planet with 4 hands, right? In the 400 form. And then now here is saying is that outside of the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal manifestation of Krishna, which is known as Brahmaloka. But we know that outside of the Vaikuntha planets, from Krishna, his effulgence is emanating, right? The light comes out of Krishna, and that is known as Brahmajyoti. So I want you to understand that the term here, which is known as used as Brahmaloka, is nothing but the Brahmajyoti. Okay? It's one and the same thing. It's just they're using a different term over here. Okay? So then he's saying outside us, so that you can imagine planet on the top, more planets below it, and then light coming from the top planet. So obviously that light is flowing through all the other planets down there, right? And then, after that, what we see is that there is a ocean, Karan ocean. There's a causal ocean, right? And that is from where the Mahavishnu will be lying, or Karanodakshay Vishnu will be lying on that. Okay. So there's spiritual sky on the top, and then there's this whole ocean, right? Spiritual skies with all the Vaikuntha planets, and there's a whole ocean. And then beyond that, if you could go even below the ocean is where this material world is going to start, right? And all that, imagine, is resting in the Brahma Jyoti of Krishna, the light of Krishna, right? So, so that's what they are saying here, that on the other side of Brahmaloka is the spiritual Karana Samudra, or the causal ocean. Right? And the material energy will exist on that side. So causal ocean, imagine, is like an ocean that separates your spiritual world with the material world. Right? And on that juncture is where Mahavishnu is lying on his, on the ocean. Okay, is that clear in your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
All right, nice. Now let's continue reading. Whose turn is that? Uttara, back to you again, is it?
Mataji. As the source of the material elements, the material energy is known as pradhana, and as a source of manifestations of the material energy, it is known as maya. But material nature is inert in that she has no independent power to do anything. She is empowered to make the cosmic manifestation by the glance of Mahavishnu. Therefore, the material energy is not the original cause of the material manifestation. Rather, the transcendental glance of Mahavishnu over material nature produces that cosmic manifestation.
Right. So here we are talking about two concepts. Here there is Pradhan, right? So what is the Pradhan? So Pradhan is saying that the one who creates, right, as a source of material energy. So and now we are coming to the material world, right? So the material world is made up of, we heard that, right? Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi, Revacha, right? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, like that, right? So all these make up the material world. And so what he's saying that the material world, so the first kind of creation in the material will be to create these basic elements, right? To create earth, to create water, to create air, like that, right? For example, in your home, you can make chapatis, you can make puris, you can make,
Tandoori roti.
Tandoori roti, very nice. You can make,
Naan.
balushai. Yeah. So you can make so many things. Yeah, you can make so many. You can make halwa. You can make so many things from atta, right? Gehu ka atta. You can make so many things, right? But so that is one sort of a creation. But the other type of creation is creating the atta itself, right? So first is that you create the basic elements, and the second is from the basic element you make different kinds of things out of it, right? So here, when they're talking about the basic elements being created, so that form is known as pradhan, right? And then creating, manifesting, creating forms and shapes out of all these elements, that is known as prakriti or maya. Okay, so we need to understand that. But what we also read in the paragraph below is that just bringing all these elements together, earth, water, fire, air, ether, right, and maya, the devotee of Lord, just bringing them together will not be sufficient to create the material world. Maya will not be able to create any of the forms like human beings, animals, lakes, forests, rivers, oceans, like that. She won't be able to create anything in this material world unless Krishna glances. Right? So when Krishna glances at this, all these elements, that's when Prakriti is agitated, and then she starts a procreation. So you'll also see that those of the devotees who worship Lord Shiva, right? So Lord Shiva is also known as the creator, right? The one who creates. And then Parvati is supposed to be the consort who helps create this whole material world, right? In the concept of creation as we understand, right? In the material world. So, however, in this particular chapter, he's also talking about that Krishna glances, right? Krishna glances at the material nature, and that's when the real creation starts. So that glance of Krishna, and Brahma Samhita also says that glance of Krishna is known as Shambhu, right? People say, na, Har Har Mahadev, Har Har Shambhu, they do that. So that Shambhu is nothing else than the glance of Krishna. So a lot of people will fight, right? Who's bigger? Who is Krishna? Who is Shiva? I'm a Shivite. I'm this. I'm that. But Shiva is in that form is a glance of Mahavishnu. Okay, so now let's go. Let's continue further.
Hare Krishna ji.
Ma-
Mahavishnu.
Madhuri, my turn.
Sorry.
No, Mahavishnu again enters every universe as a reservoir of all living entities. Garbhodakshai Vishnu. From Garbhodakshai Vishnu expands Shirodakshai Vishnu, the super soul of every living entity. Garbhodakshai Vishnu also has his own Vaikunt planet in every universe, where he lives as the super soul or the supreme controller of the universe. Garbhodakshai Vishnu reclines in the midst of the watery portion of the universe and generates the first living creature of the universe, Brahma. The imaginary universal form is a partial manifestation of Garbhodakshai Vishnu.
Hare Krishna ji. On the Vaikuntha planet, in every universe is an ocean of milk, and within that ocean is an island called Shwet where Lord Vishnu lives. Therefore, this chapter describes two Deepas, one in the abode of Krishna and other in the ocean of milk in every universe. The Shwet Deepa in the abode of Krishna is identical with Vrindavan Dham, and which is the place where Krishna appears himself to display his loving pastimes. In Shraddha-devi, within every universe is Shesh, from form of the god who serves the Vishnu by assuming the forms of his umbrella, slippers, couch, pillows, garments, residence, sacred thread, throne, and so on. Hare Krishna ji. Kiran, your turn.
My turn. Lord Baldev in Krishna Loka is Nityananda Prabhu. Therefore, Nityananda Prabhu is the originalness. It has disappeared.
Is it? You can't
Therefore, Anji, now I can see. Therefore, Nityananda Prabhu is the original Sankarshana and Maha Sankarshan as his expansions, as the Purushas in the universe are plenary expansions of Nityananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna Ji.
This chapter, the author has described the history of his leaving home for a personal pilgrimage to Vrindavana and his achieving all success there. In this description, it is revealed that the author's original paternal home and birthplace were in the district of Katwa, in the village of Jamatapura, which is near Naikadi. Krishnadasa Kaviraja's brother invited Sri Meenaketana Ramadasa, a great devotee of Lord Nityananda, to his home, but a priest named Gunarnava Mishra did not receive him well, and Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami's brother, not recognizing the glories of Lord Nityananda, also took sides with the priest. Therefore, Ramadasa became sorry, broke his flute, and went away. This was a great disaster for the brother of Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami. But on that very night, Lord Nityananda Prabhu himself graced Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami in a dream and ordered him to leave on the next day for Vrindavana.
Just want to mention that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita. This book that we are reading, it is written by him. Okay, now let's continue to read. Let's do two texts each. Okay, two texts because there are a lot of texts here. So Garima.
Let me offer my obeisances to Lord Sri Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Prabhu, all glories to Sri Lord Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 2 verse, right, Mataji? Jyoti Mataji,
Yeah.
start.
Garima.
I have described the glories of I have described the glories of Shri Krishna Chaitanya in 6 verses. Now in 5 verses I shall describe the glory of Lord Nityananda. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnation. Lord Balram in his second body. Hare Krishna ji.
These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Text 6, the original Lord Krishna appeared in Navdeepa as Lord Chaitanya, and Balram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. Hare Krishna.
May Sri Nityananda Rama be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshana, Seshanaga, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. Lord Balarama is the original Sankarshana. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Is it my turn?
Garima.
Garima.
Not there.
I think she's frozen.
May Shri Nityananda Ram be the object of constant remembrance, Sankarshan, Shesh Naga.
Mataji, we already read that, right?
Okay, sorry. Lord
Ninth.
Brahma,
Ninth one.
Text 9.
he himself helps in the pastime of Lord Krishna and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. He executes the orders of Lord Krishna in the work of creation and in the form of Lord Shesha, he serves Krishna in various ways. Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna ji. In all the forms, he tastes the transcendental bliss of serving Krishna. That same Balram is Lord Nityananda, the companion of Lord Gaur Sundar.
Yeah, so Gaura Sundara is also another name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like in Bengal, he was born in Bengal, and Gaura is a very common name very famous name in
I
Bengal.
have explained the 7th verse in 4 subsequent verses. By these verses, all the world can know the truth about Lord Nityananda. Hare Krishna.
Surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Rama, who is known as Sankarshana, in the midst of the Chaturvyuha, consisting of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. He possesses full opulences and resides in Vaikuntha Loka, far beyond the material creation. Beyond the material nature lies the realm known as Pravyoma, the spiritual sky. Like Lord Krishna himself, it possesses all transcendental attributes such as the 6 opulences. Hare Krishna.
That Vaikunt region is all pervading, infinite, and supreme. It is the residence of Lord Krishna and his incarnation. In the highest region of that spiritual sky is the spiritual planet called Krishna Loka. It has 3 divisions: Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokula.
Hare Krishna ji. Shri Gokul, the highest of all, is called Vraj, Goloka, Shwet and Vrindavan. Like the transcendental body of Lord Krishna, Gokul is all pervading, infinite, and supreme. It expands both above and below without any restriction.
Hare Krishna ji. That abode is manifested within the material world by the will of Lord Krishna. It is identical to the original Gokula. They are not 2 different bodies. Text 20, the land there is touchstone, Chintamani, and the forests around with desire trees. Material eyes see it as an ordinary place. Hare Krishna ji.
But with the eyes of love of Godhead, one can see its real identity as the place where Lord Krishna performs his pastimes with the cowherd boys and cowherd girls. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending cows, yielding all desires in abodes built with spiritual gems and surrounded by millions of purpose trees. He is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. Hare Krishna.
Lord Krishna manifests his own form in Mathura and Dwarka. He enjoys pastimes in various ways by expanding into the quadruple forms. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha are the primary quadruple forms, from whom all other quadruple forms are manifested. They are all purely transcendental.
Text 25. Only in these 3 places, Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokula, does the all sporting Lord Krishna perform his endless pastime with his personal associates. In the Vaikuntha planet of the spiritual sky, the Lord manifests his identity as Narayan and performs pastime in various ways. Hare Krishna ji.
Text 27 and 28. Krishna's own form has only
It's
two hands.
Yeah, hold on just 1 second. Let me scroll it down. Okay, Mataji,
I have
sorry.
to read 27, 28.
Yeah.
Krishna's own form has only two hands, but in the form of Lord Nityananda, he has four hands. Lord Nityananda.
Narayana.
Sorry. Oh my God, what did I do? Krishna's own form has only two hands, but in the form of Lord Narayana, he has four hands. Lord Narayana holds a conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower, and he is full of great opulence. The Shri Bhu and Nila energies serve at his lotus feet. Although his pastimes are his only characteristic functions, by his causeless mercy, he performs one activity for the fallen souls. Hare Krishna ji.
He delivers the fallen living entities by offering them the four kinds of liberation: Salokya, Samipya, Sarshti, and Sarupya.
Sarishti.
Sarishti and Sarupya. Thank you, Mataji. Those who attain Brahma Sayujya liberation cannot gain entrance into Vaikuntha. Their residence is outside the Vaikuntha planets. Hare Krishna.
Outside the Vaikuntha planet is the atmosphere of the glowing effulgence, which consists of the supremely bright rays of the body of Lord Krishna. That region is called Siddhaloka, and it is beyond the material nature. Its essence is spiritual, but it does not have spiritual varieties.
Jyoti. Jyoti Mataji.
She's gone offline. I'll read. It is like the homogeneous effulgence surround the sun, but inside the sun are the chariots, horses, and other opulences of the sun god.
Oh, sorry, Mataji, I forgot to unmute.
Okay.
किरण पढ़ लो, मैं पढ़ लूंगी बाद
As
में.
through devotion to the Lord, one can attain his abode. Many have attained that goal by abandoning their sinful activities and absorbing their minds in the Lord through lust, envy, fear, and affection. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Mataji, I forgot to unmute.
No
Text
problem.
36, where it has been stated the Lord enemies and the devotees attain the same destination. This refers to the ultimate oneness of Brahman and Lord Krishna. This may be understood by the example of sun and the sunshine, in which Brahman is like the sunshine and Krishna himself is like the sun. Text 37. Thus, in the spiritual sky, there are varieties of pastime within the spiritual energy. Outside the Vaikuntha planet appears the impersonal reflection of the light. Hare Krishna ji.
Impersonal Brahman effulgence consists only of the effulgent rays of the Lord. Those fit for Sayujya liberation merge into that effulgence. Beyond the region of ignorance, the material cosmic manifestation, lies the realm of Siddhaloka. The Siddhas reside there, absorbed in the bliss of Brahman. Demons killed by the Lord also attain that realm. Hare Krishna.
Sorry. In the spiritual sky, on the four sides of Narayan are the second expansion of the quadruple expansions of Dwarka. Vasudev, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aditya constitute this second quadruple. They are purely transcendental.
हरे कृष्ण. माता जी स्क्रॉल कर दीजिए. Text 42. There in the spiritual sky, the personal feature of Balram called Sankarshana is the shelter of the spiritual energy. He is the primary cause, the cause of all causes. One variety of pastime of spiritual energy is described as pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva. It comprises all the abodes of Vaikuntha. Hare Krishna ji.
The six attributes are all spiritual, known for certain that they are all manifestations of the opulence of Sankarsana. Text 45. There is one marginal potency known as the Jiva. Sankarshan is the shelter of all Jivas. Hare Krishna. Putra.
Sankarshana is the original shelter of the Purusha from whom this world is created and in whom it is dissolved. He, Sankarshana, is the shelter of everything. He is wonderful in every respect and his opulences are infinite. Even Ananta cannot describe his glory. Hare Krishna.
Garima's turn.
Shall I read Parshad? Mataji?
Mataji, I am reading. There is one
Okay.
marginal potency known as the Jiva. Mahasankarshana is the shelter of all Jivas. Sankarshana is the original center of the Purusha, from whom this world is created and whom it is dissolved.
Hare Krishna ji, text 47. He, Sankarshana, is the shelter of everything. He is wonderful in every respect, and his opulences are infinite. Even Anant cannot describe his glory. The Sankarshana, who is transcendental pure goodness, is partial expansion of Nityananda Balaram. Hare Krishna ji. Kiran.
Text 49. I have briefly explained the 8th verse. Now please listen with attention as I explain the 9th verse. I offer my full obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda Rama, whose partial representation called Karana no Dakshe Vishnu, lying on the Karan ocean, is the original Purusha, the master of the illusionary energy and the shelter of all the universes. Hare Krishna ji.
Outside the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal Brahman effulgence, and beyond that effulgence is the Karana ocean or causal ocean. Surrounding Vaikuntha is a mass of water that is endless, unfathomed, and unlimited. Hare Krishna.
The earth, water, fire, air, and ether of Vaikuntha are all spiritual. Material elements are not found there. The water of the Karna ocean, which is the original cause, is therefore spiritual. The sacred Ganges, which is but a drop of it, purifies the fallen soul.
Text 55. In the ocean lies a plenary portion of Lord Sankarshana. Text 56. He is known as the first Purusha, the creator of total material energy. He is the cause of the universe. The first incarnation cast his glance over Maya.
Maya Shakti resides outside the Karna ocean. Maya cannot touch its waters. Maya has two varieties of existence. One is called Pradhan or Prakriti. It supplies the ingredients of the material world. Hare Krishna.
Because Prakriti is dull and inert, it cannot actually be the cause of the material world. But Lord Krishna shows his mercy by infusing his energy into the dull, inert material nature. Thus, Prakriti, by the energy of Lord Krishna, becomes the secondary cause, just as iron becomes red hot by the energy of fire. Hare Krishna.
Therefore, Lord Krishna is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation. Prakriti is like the nipples on the neck of a goat, for they cannot give any milk. The Maya aspect of the material nature is the immediate cause of the cosmic manifestation, but it cannot be the real cause, for the original cause is Lord Narayana.
Text 63. Just as the original cause of an earthen pot is the potter, so the creator of the material world is the first Purusha incarnation Karno Vasai Vishnu. Lord Krishna is the creator and Maya only helps him as an instrument, just like the potter's wheel and other instruments which are the instrumental causes of a pot. Hare Krishna ji.
The first Purusha casts his glance at Maya from a distance, and thus he impregnates her with the seed of life in the form of the living entities. The reflected rays of his body mix with Maya, and thus Maya gives birth to myriad universes. Hare Krishna ji.
Purusha enters each and every one of the countless universes. He manifests himself in as many separate forms as there are universes. When the Purusha exhales, the universes are manifested, and with each outward breath. Hare Krishna.
Thereafter, when he inhales, all the universe again enter his body. Just as atomic particles of dust pass through the opening of a window, so the network of universes pass through the pores of the skin of the Purusha.
Hare Krishna ji. Text 71. The Brahmas and other lords of the mundane worlds appear from the pores of Mahavishnu and remains alive for the duration of his one exhalation. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom Mahavishnu is a portion of plenary portion. Text 72. Where am I? A small creature of 7 spans of measure of my own hand. I am enclosed in the universe composed of material nature. The total material energy, false ego, ether, air, water, and earth. And what is your glory? Unlimited universes passes through the pores of your body, just like particle of dust passes through the opening of a window. Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna ji. A part of a whole is called Kala. Shri Balram is the counterform of Lord Govinda. Text 74. Balram's own expansion is called Maha Sankarshan, and his fragment, the Purusha, is counted as Kala, or a part of the plenary ocean.
I say that this Kala is Mahavishnu. He is the Mahapurusha who is the source of the other Purushas and who is all pervading. Garbhodakashayi and Shirodakashayi are both called Purushas. They are plenary portions of Karanodasai Vishnu, the first Purusha, who is the abode of all the universes.
Vishnu has 3 forms called Purushas. The first, Mahavishnu, is the creator of the total material energy, Mahat. The second is Garbhodakshai, who is situated within each universe. And third is Shirodakshai, who lives in the heart of every living being. He who knows these 3 become liberated from the clutches of Maya. Although Shirodakshai Vishnu is called a Kala of Lord Krishna, he is the source of the Matsya, Kurma, and the other incarnations.
Although Karanodashai.
Karanodakshai.
Karanodashai. Jyoti.
She has to read one more. All these incarnations of Godhead are either plenary portion or the parts of plenary portion of the Purusharavatas. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. In every age, he protects the world through his different features when the world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra. Text 80. The Purusha Kano Dakshay Vishnu is the performer of creation, maintenance, and destruction. He protects the world through his different features.
He manifests himself.
Manifests himself in many incarnations, for he is the maintainer of the world. Hare Krishna ji.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point out that here in text in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you'll see many verses from Srimad Bhagavatam are quoted. So this one is the verse that I had quoted, Mataji, when you were asking me the question about why Dashavatara Shrotra is so famous, right? And I was telling you that that our focus is on our mood up all that. Like Dashavatara Shrotra, some people might say, oh, as you look at the 10 avatars as they go, it also shows you how the world evolves. But then that is Darwin's theory. That is not accurate, but they will put it like that, right? First the fish is there, so from the ocean, then there is Kurma avatar, like that. This also shows evolution, like that. Some people might say that those avatars, they are actually starting from the Matsya Avtara, which is the first Avtara. It's going to take you through all the yugas. So in the first yugas, the Varaha Avatar comes, the Matsya Avatar comes, in the next yuga, like that, Treta, Ramchandra, Purusharama Avatar, and then last, Buddha, like that. So it takes you through. So it kind of covers and also shows how Krishna takes care of the people, right? I mean, in every incarnation that he has come, like the Asuras and the Devtas wanted to churn the ocean, so he comes as Kurma Avatar, like that. So it shows how he comes and protects. So this is the verse from Bhagavatam that I was quoting. Same thing. Ete chamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Hridyante Yoga Yoga. So here also, where they're talking about Sankarshan or Nityananda Balram, and it is talking about how he's a complete portion of Krishna. So again, he's quoting from the Shastras here and saying that, yes, there will be many incarnations that we'll talk about, but then we have to think about also about the the really strong incarnations that are there about the Lord. So just wanted to mention that it is being called out here also. Yeah. 81.
Right. Hare Krishna ji. That fragment of the Supreme Lord, known as Mahapurusha, appears for the purpose of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, and is called an incarnation. Text 82. That Mahapurusha is identical with the personality of Godhead. He is the original incarnation, the seed of all others, and the shelter of everything. Hare Krishna ji.
Purusha, Mahavishnu, is the primary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Time, nature, Prakriti as cause and effect, the mind, the material elements, false ego, the modes of nature, the senses, the universal form, complete independence, and the moving and non-moving beings appear simultaneously as his opulences. In the beginning of the creation, the Lord expanded himself in the form of the Purusha incarnation, accompanied by all the ingredients of material creation. First, he created the 16 principal energies suitable for creation. This was for the purpose of manifesting the material universes. Hare Krishna.
Although the Lord is the shelter of everything, and although all the universe rests in him, he is the super soul, is all the support of everything. Although he is thus connected with the material energy in two ways, he does not have the slightest contact with it.
Actually, interesting thing is that when we read to chapter 9, subsequently, that these are quotations from the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So just wanted to point out here that Chaitanya Charitamrita draws from all the other scriptures. Jyoti? Ataji?
I think 87, I'm going to read 88. Thus, the Bhagavad Gita also states again and again that absolute truth always possesses inconceivable power. Text 89, Lord Krishna said, I am situated in material world and the world rests in me. But at the same time, I am not situated in the material world, nor does it rest in me in truth. Hare Krishna ji.
Text
I
90.
have a feeling we have not read 87. I don't know.
Yes, it is read.
Absolute. This is the opulence of Lord. We have not read this.
Oh,
This
Arjuna,
is the opulence of Lord, though situated within the material world. He is never affected by the modes of nature. Similarly, those who have surrendered to him and have fixed their intelligence upon him are not influenced by modes of nature.
text 90. Oh, Arjuna, you should know this as the inconceivable opulence. This is the meaning propagated by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. That Mahapurusha, Karno Dakshe Vishnu, is known as plenary part of him, who is Lord Nityananda Balram, the favorite associate of Lord Chaitanya. Hare Krishna Ji.
Thus explain the 9th verse, and now I shall explain the 10th. Please listen with rapt attention. I offer my full obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda Rama, a partial part of whom is Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. From the navel of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu sprouts the lotus that is the birthplace of Brahma, the engineer of the universe. The stem of that lotus is the resting place of the multitude of planets. After creating millions of universes, the first Purusha entered into each of them in a separate form as Sri Garbhodakashayi. Hare Krishna.
Entering the universe, he found only darkness with no place in which to reside. Thus he began to consider. Then he created water from the perspiration of his own body, and with that water filled half of the universe.
Hare Krishna Ji, text 97. The universe measures 500 million yojanas. Its length and breadth are one and the same. Text 98. After filling half the universe with water, he made his own residence therein and manifested the 14 words in the other half. Hare Krishna Ji.
There he manifested Vaikuntha as his own abode and rested in the waters of the bed of Lord Shesha. The text 100 and 101. He lay there with Ananta in his bed, and Ananta in his bed. Lord Ananta is a divine serpent, having thousands of heads, thousands of faces, thousands of eyes, thousands of hands and feet. He is the seed of all incarnations and is the cause of the material world. Hare Krishna Ji.
His navel grew a lotus flower, which became the birthplace of Lord Brahma. Within the stem of that lotus were the 14 worlds. Thus, the Supreme Lord, as Brahma, created the entire creation. Hare Krishna.
And as Lord Vishnu, he maintains the entire world. Lord Vishnu, being beyond all material attributes, has no touch with the material qualities. Assuming the form of Rudra, he destroys the creation. Thus, creation, maintenance, and dissolution are created by his will.
Hare Krishna Ji, text 106. He is the super soul. Hiranyagarbha, the cause of material birth. The universal form is conceived as his expansion. Text 107. The Lord Narayana is a part of plenary part of Nityananda Balram, who is the source of all incarnation. Hare Krishna Ji.
I have thus explained the 10th verse. Now, please listen to the meaning of the 11th verse with all your mind. Text 109. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda Ram, whose secondary part is the Vishnu lying in the ocean of milk. That
Shirodakashayi.
Shirodaksha Vishnu is the super soul of all living entities and the maintainer of all universes. Sheshnag is his further subpart. Hare Krishna ji.
Material planets rest within the stem that grows from the lotus navel of Lord Narayana. Among these planets are 7 oceans. There, in part of the ocean of milk, lies Sweta-dvipa, the abode of the sustainer, Lord Vishnu. Hare Krishna.
He is the super soul of all living entities. He maintains the material world and he is the Lord. He is its Lord. In the ages of millennium of Manu, he appears as different incarnation to establish the principle of real religion and vanquish the principle of irreligion.
Hare Krishna ji. Text 114. Unable to see him, the demigods go to the shore of ocean of milk and offer prayers to him. He then descends in to maintain the material world. His unlimited opulences cannot be counted. Hare Krishna ji.
That Lord Vishnu is but a part of plenary portion of Lord Nityananda, who is the source of all incarnations. That same Lord Vishnu, in the form of Lord Shesh, holds the planets upon his heads, although he does not know where they are, for he cannot feel their existence upon his heads. Hare Krishna ji.
His thousands of extended hooves are adorned with dazzling jewels surpassing the sun. The universe, which measures 500 million yojanas in diameter, rests on one of his hoods like a mustard seed. Hare Krishna.
Garima.
The Ananta Shesha is the devotee incarnation of Godhead. He knows nothing but service to Lord Krishna. With his thousands of mouths, he sings the glories of Lord Krishna. But although he always sings in that way, he does not find an end to the qualities of the Lord.
Hare Krishna ji. Text 122. The 4 Kumaras hear Srimad Bhagavatam from his lips, and they in turn repeat it in the transcendental bliss of love of Godhead. Text 123. He serves the Lord Krishna, assuming all the following forms: umbrella, slippers, bedding, pillows, garment, resting there, chair, residence, sacred thread, and throne. Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna ji. He is thus called Lord Shesh, for he has attained the ultimate end of servitude to Krishna. He takes many forms for the service of Krishna, and thus he serves the Lord. Text 125. That person of whom Lord Ananta is a kala, or a part of plenary part, is Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who therefore can know the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. Hare Krishna ji.
Text 126. From these conclusions, we can know the limit of the truth of Lord Nityananda. But what glory is there in calling him Ananta? But I accept it as a truth because it has been said by devotees, since he is the source of all incarnations, everything is possible in him. Hare Krishna.
They know that there is no difference between the incarnation and the source of all incarnation. Previously, Lord Krishna was regarded in the light of different principles by different people. Some said that Krishna was directly Lord Narayan, and some called him Lord Vaman Dev incarnate.
Hare Krishna ji, text 130. Some call Lord Krishna as incarnation of Lord Shraddha-devi. All these names are true. Nothing is impossible. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna appears, he is the shelter of all plenary parts. Thus, at that part, his plenary portion joins in him. Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna ji. In whatever form one knows the Lord, one speaks of him in that way. In this, there is no falsity. since everything is possible in Krishna. Text 133. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has exhibited to everyone all the pastimes of all the various incarnations. Hare Krishna Ji.
134. Thus, Lord Nityananda has unlimited incarnations. In transcendental emotion, he calls himself a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Sometimes he serves Lord Chaitanya as his guru, sometimes as his friend, and sometimes as his servant, just as Lord Balarama played with Lord Krishna in these three different moods in Vraja. Hare Krishna.
Playing like a bull, Lord Balram fights with Krishna head to head, and sometimes Lord Krishna massages the feet of Lord Balram. He considers himself a servant and knows Krishna to be his master. Thus, he regards himself as a fragment of his plenary portion.
Hare Krishna Ji, text 138, acting just like ordinary boys. They played like roaring bulls and they fought each other and they imitated the calls of various animals. So, text 139, sometimes when Lord Krishna, elder brother Lord Balram, felt tired and playing and lay his head on the lap of crowded boy, Lord Krishna himself served him by massaging his feet. Hare Krishna Ji.
Hare Krishna Ji, who is the mystic power and where has she come from? Is she a demigod or a demoness? She must be the illusionary energy of the Master, Lord Krishna, for who else can bewilder me? What is the value of a throne to Lord Krishna? The masters of various planetary systems accept the dust of his lotus feet on their crowned heads. That dust makes the holy places sacred. Even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi, and I myself, who are all portions of his plenary portion, eternally carry that dust on our heads. Hare Krishna Ji.
Text 142. Lord Krishna alone is the supreme controller, and all others are his servants. They dance as he makes them do so. Thus, Lord Chaitanya is also the only controller, all others are his associates or servants. Hare Krishna.
His elders such as Lord Nityananda, Advaitacharya, and Shivas Thakur, as well as his other devotees, whether his juniors, equals, or superiors, are all his associates who help them in his pastime. Lord Gauranga fulfill his aims with their help. Sri Advaitacharya, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who are plenary parts of the Lord, are his principal associate. With these two, the Lord performs his pastime in various ways.
Text 147, Lord Advait Acharya is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Lord Chaitanya accepts him as his preceptor, Advaita Acharya is a servant of the Lord. I cannot describe the truth of Advaita Acharya. He has delivered the entire world by making Lord Krishna descend. Hare Krishna Ji.
Lord Nityananda Swarup formally appeared as Lakshman and served Lord Ramachandra as his younger brother. The activities of Lord Rama were full of suffering, but Lakshman, of his own accord, tolerated that suffering. Hare Krishna Ji.
Text 151. As a younger brother, he could not stop Lord Rama from his resolution, and so he remained silent, although unhappy in his mind. When Lord Krishna appeared, he, Balarama, became his elder brother to serve him to his heart's content and make him enjoy all sorts of happiness. Hare Krishna.
Sri Lakshman, who were plenary portion of Lord Krishna and Lord Balram respectively, entered into them at the time of Krishna's and Balram's appearance. Krishna and Balram present themselves as younger brother and elder brother, but in the scriptures they are described as the original Supreme Personality of Godhead and his expansion.
Hare Krishna ji.
155.
As a takes 151 as a younger brother, he could.
155.
Oh. I worship Govinda, the premier Lord, who by his various plenary portion appears in the world in different forms and incarnation as such as Lord Rama, who was personally appeared in his supreme original form as Lord Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is the same Lord Krishna, and the Lord Nityananda is the Lord Balaram. The Lord Nityananda fulfills all the Lord Chaitanya's desires. Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna ji. The ocean of Lord Nityananda's glory is infinite and unfathomable. Only by his mercy can I touch even a drop of it. Text 150. Please listen to another glory of his mercy. He made a fallen living entity climb to the highest limit. Hare Krishna ji.
Text 159. To disclose it is not proper, for it should be kept as confidential as the Vedas. Yet I shall speak of it to make his mercy known to all. O Lord Nityananda, I write of your mercy out of great exultation. Please forgive me for my offenses. Hare Krishna.
Lord Nityananda Prabhu had a servant named Shri Meena Kithina Ramdas, who was a reservoir of love. At my house there was a Sankirtan day and night, and therefore he visited there, having been invited.
Hare Krishna ji, 163. Absorbed in emotional love, he sat in my courtyard, and all the Vaishnavas bowed down at his feet. In a joyful mood of love of God, he sometimes climbed upon the shoulder of someone offering obeisances, and sometimes he struck others with his flute or mildly slapped them. Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna ji. Text 165. When someone saw the eyes of Meena Ketana Ramadas, the tears would automatically flow from his own eyes, but a constant shower of tears flowed from the eyes of Meena Ketana Ramadasa. Sometimes there were eruptions of ecstasy, like kadamba flowers on some part of his body, and sometimes one limb would be stunned while another would be trembling. Hare Krishna ji.
Text 167. Whenever he shouted aloud the name Nityananda, the people around him were filled with great wonder and astonishment. One respectable Brahmana named Sri Gunarnava Mishra was serving the deity. Hare Krishna.
When Minakitana was seated in the yard, the Brahman did not offer him respect. Seeing this, Sri Ramananda became angry and spoke. Here I find the second Ramananda Sutta who did not stand to show honor when he saw Lord Balram.
Jyoti.
Saying, uh, after saying this, he danced and sang to his heart content. But the Brahmana did not become angry, for he was then serving Lord Krishna. Text 172. At the end of festival, Meena Ketna Ramdas went away, offering his blessing to everyone. At that time, he had some controversy with my brother.
Text 173. My brother had firm faith in Lord Chaitanya, but only a dim glimmer of faith in Lord Nityananda. Knowing this, Sri Ramadas felt unhappy in his mind. I then rebuked my brother. Hare Krishna ji.
Text 175. These two brothers, I told him, are like one body. They are identical manifestations. If you do not believe in Lord Nityananda, you will fall down. If you have faith in one but disrespect the other, your logic is like the logic of accepting half a hen. Hare Krishna.
It would be better to be an atheist by slighting both brothers that are hypocrite by believing in one and citing the other. Thus Sri Ramadasa broke his flute in anger and went away, and at the time my brother fell down.
Hare Krishna Ji, text 179. I have thus described the power of the servants of Lord Nityananda. Now I shall describe another characteristics of his mercy. That night, Lord Nityananda appeared to me in a dream because of my good quality in chastising my brother. Hare Krishna Ji.
Hare Krishna Ji, in the village of uh, Jammat,
Hamatpura.
Jamatpura, which is near Nihati, Lord Nityananda appeared to me in a dream. Text 182, I fell at his feet offering my obeisances, and he then placed his own lotus feet upon my head. Hare Krishna Ji.
Text 183. Arise, get up. He told me again and again. Upon rising, I was greatly astonished to see his beauty. He had a glossy blackish complexion, and his tall, strong, heroic stature made him seem like Cupid himself. Hare Krishna.
He had beautifully formed hands, arms, and legs, and eyes like lotus flowers. He wore a silk coat with a silk turban on his head. He wore golden earring on his ears and golden arms and banglets. He wore tinkling anklets on his feet and a garland of flowers around his neck.
Hare Krishna Ji, text 187. His body was anointed with sandalwood pulp and he was nicely decorated with tilak. His movements surpassed those of maddened elephant. His face was more beautiful than millions and millions of moons, and his teeth were like pomegranate seeds because of his chewing betel. Hare Krishna Ji.
Hare Krishna Ji. His body moved to and fro, right and left, for he was absorbed in ecstasy. He chanted Krishna Krishna in a deep voice. His red stick moving in his hand, he seemed like a maddened lion. All around the four sides of his feet were bumblebees. Hare Krishna Ji.
His devotees, dressed like cowherd boys, surrounded his feet like so many bees and also chanted Krishna Krishna, absorbed in ecstatic love. Some of them played horns and flutes and other danced and sang. Some of them offered betel nuts and other wanted chamara fans about him.
Hare Krishna Ji, text 193. Thus I saw such opulence in Lord Nityanand Savrup. His wonderful form, qualities, and pastime are transcendental. I was overwhelmed with transcendental ecstasy, not knowing anything else. Then the Lord Nityananda smiled and spoke to me as follows. Hare Krishna Ji.
Hare Krishna Ji. Oh my dear uh, Krishnandasa, do not be afraid. Go to Vrindavan, for there you will attain all things. Text 196. After saying this, he directed me toward Vrindavan by waving his hand. Then he disappeared with his associates. Hare Krishna Ji.
I
197. I fainted and fell to the ground. My dream broke, and when I regained consciousness, I saw that morning had come. I thought about what I had seen and heard and concluded that the Lord had ordered me to proceed to Vrindavana at once. Hare Krishna.
That very second I started for Vrindavan, and by his mercy I reached there in great happiness. All glory to Lord Nityanand Balram, by whose mercy I have attained shelter in the transcendental abode of Vrindavan.
Hare Krishna ji, text 201. All glory to the merciful Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained shelter at the lotus feet of Shri Rup and Shri Sanatana. By his mercy I have attained the shelter of great personality of Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, and by his mercy I have found the refuge of Shri Savrup Damodara. Hare Krishna ji.
By the mercy of Sanatan Goswami, I have learned the final conclusions of devotional service, and by the grace of Sri Rupa Goswami, I have tasted the highest nectar of devotional service. Text 204. All glory to the lotus feet of Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained Sri Radha Govinda. Hare Krishna.
Text 205. I am more sinful than Jagai and Madai, and even lower than the worms in the stool. Anyone who hears my name loses the result of his pious activities. Anyone who utters my name becomes sinful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 207. Who in the world but Nityananda could show his mercy to such an abominable person as me? माता जी स्क्रीन चली गई. माता जी.
It is there, Mataji.
Because.
माता जी स्क्रीन चली गई थी.
अच्छा.
He delivers. Text 209. He delivers all those who fall down before him. Therefore, he has delivered such a sinful and fallen person to me.
Hare Krishna ji.
Although Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna ji, although I am sinful and I am the most fallen, he has conferred upon me the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami. Text 211. I am not fit to speak all these confidential words about my visiting Lord Madan Gopala, the Lord Govinda. And Lord Govinda. Hare Krishna ji.
Lord Madana Gopala, the chief deity of Vrindavana, is the enjoyer of the Rasa dance and is directly the son of the king of Vraja. He enjoys the Rasa dance with Srimati Radharani, Sri Lalita and others. He manifests himself as the Cupid of Cupids. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna ji. 214.
Wearing yellow.
Please पढ़िए. Sorry.
Wearing yellow garment and decorated with flower garment, Lord Krishna, appearing among the gopis with his smiling lotus feet, looked directly like the charmer of the heart of Cupid. With Radha and Lalita serving him on his two sides, he attracts the heart of all by his own sweetness.
Hare Krishna ji. Text 216. The mercy of Lord Nityananda showed me Shri Madan Mohan and gave me Shri Madan Mohan as my Lord and Master. He granted to one as low as me the sight of Lord Govinda. Words cannot describe this, nor is it fit to be disclosed. Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna ji. Text 218 to 219. On an altar made of gems in the principal temple of Vrindavan, amidst a forest of desire trees, Lord Govinda, the son of the king Vraj, sits upon a throne of gems, manifests his full glory and sweetness, thus enchanting the entire world. Text 220. By his left side is Srimati Radharani and her personal friends. And with them, Lord Govinda enjoys the Rasa Leela and many other pastimes. Hare Krishna ji.
221. Lord Brahma, sitting on his lotus seat in his own abode, always meditates on him and worships him with the mantra consisting of 18 syllables. Everyone in the 14 worlds meditates upon him, and all the denizens of Vaikuntha sing of his qualities and pastimes. Hare Krishna.
Garima.
Yeah, Mataji, I'm reading. The goodness of fortune is attracted by his sweetness, which Sri Rupa Goswami has described in this way. My dear friend, if you are indeed attached to your worldly friends, do not look at the smiling face of the Lord Govinda as he stands on the bank of Yamuna at Keshigarh. Casting sidelong glances, he places his flutes to his lips, which seems like newly blossomed twigs. His transcendental body, bending in three places, appears very bright in the moonlight.
What happened?
Hare Krishna ji. What happened?
Nothing.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Text 225. With a doubt, he is directly the son,
without
king
a
of
doubt.
Braja.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt, he is directly the son of king of Braj. Only a fool considered him a statue. Text 226. For the offense he cannot be liberated. Rather, he will fall into terrible hellish condition. What more should I say? Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna ji. Therefore, who can describe the mercy of the lotus feet of him, Lord Nityananda, by whom I have attained the shelter of this Lord Govinda? Text 228. All groups of Vaishnavas who live in Vrindavan are absorbed in chanting the all auspicious name of Krishna. Hare Krishna ji.
6229, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are the life and soul of those Vaishnavas who do not know anything but devotional service to Sri Radha Krishna. The dust and shade of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas have been granted to this fallen soul by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Hare Krishna.
Lord Nityananda said in Vrindavan all things are possible. Here I explain his brief statement in detail. I have attained all this by coming to Vrindavan, and this was made possible by the mercy of Lord Nityananda.
Hare Krishna ji, text 233. I have described my own story without reservations. The attributes of Lord Nityananda, making me like a madman, force me to write these things. The glories of Lord Nityananda, transcendental attributes are unfathomable. Even Lord Sesh, with his hands of with thousands of mouths, cannot find their limits. Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna ji. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy.
Then 234 padho. Which one you are reading?
आपको तो एक और पढ़ना था ना? I am reading 235.
दो पढ़े ना मैंने.
अच्छा. Sorry.
आप 235 पढ़िए, आप ठीक पढ़ रही हैं. 235.
हाँ, हम ठीक पढ़ रहे हैं.
235.
I Krishna Dasa narrate the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita flowing in their footsteps.
Following in their footsteps.
Following in their footsteps. Okay. Hare Krishna ji.
So, chalo, on the happy and the auspicious occasion of Nityananda Trayodasi, we all came together here and we were able to read one chapter from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So what were some, we can take 5 minutes of reflection, but anything that you heard, anything you found new or liked? Any word that struck your mind, any name?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu are Krishna and Balaram themselves.
Nice, yeah. That is
Mataji, when you were saying paying Nityananda used to come, I used to wonder. I always wanted to know more about him. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know. I never heard anything more about him. So thank you for today.
It is his
telling
mercy.
me.
Yeah, it is his mercy coming to you. Yeah. Yeah, he's very merciful.
So every time when I'm chanting बीच में जब करते हैं ना प्रभु नित्यानंदा, तो I used to wonder who is he? I wanted to know more about him.
Nice, very nice. Good,
And
good,
all
good.
the names are new to me.
Yes, yes. But yeah, so throughout the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he will repeat, he will expand. He speaks a little, and the next chapter he expands more. For example, when you were reading, he was every now and then he was saying, right, that I've explained the 9th verse to you, and now I'm explaining 10th verse to you. But you were not in the 9th verse or 10th verse. You were like the 60th verse or 70th verse in the chapter. So he's referring to the previous chapters, so some of the verses from there. So the first chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita is also very beautiful because it talks about the spiritual masters. A full, solid chapter has been dedicated towards him. Yeah. But these are exalted souls, very, very exalted souls that Nityananda comes to their dreams and says, now you go there. So
Come here. Come here.
okay, so then on that happy note, we will take a leave. You can feel happy that you read one chapter from Chaitanya
Oh,
Mahaprabhu.
Mataji, I was also telling in mute that by
Okay.
abandoning sinful activities and absorbing their minds in the Lord through lust, envy, fear, or affection.
Come, beta. Come.
Yeah, that's very important. To absorb your mind in the lotus feet of the Lord is the most important thing to do. Some days it is very difficult, but we should still do it. Some days it comes easily, some days it's difficult. But we keep practicing, Okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your
Thank you so much,
reflections.
Mataji. Dhanvat pranam.
Mataji, if Krishna is angry, will Nityananda helps to pacify Krishna?
You go to Radharani.
Okay. Mataji, do you have time?
A very interesting thing is that Krishna thinks, we think that Krishna is angry with us. And when you read chapter 9, I would highly encourage Garima that you read the whole chapter 9 today before you go to sleep. And you will see that we might think that Krishna is angry with us. He's never angry.
Yeah, that is what I wanted to say. Is
Yeah.
Krishna ever angry?
Yeah. We might think that he's angry because we expect certain things and those things didn't happen. So now we think that Krishna is angry and that's why these things which I wanted are not coming to me. So that is the problem is ours, not Krishna's, like that. So you focus on Krishna as the all-loving person. And this is the beauty of our Vaishnava culture and the whole Vaishnava philosophy is that we present Krishna as a loving God. In some of the other religions, God is not like that. God is very cruel. You do one thing wrong and they will come after you, right? That is something demigods will do because they are not God. But Krishna is Bhagwan Swayam. So whatever is there, sometimes what we want and what Krishna always has a plan for us. And we try to make our own plans. And then when the two plans don't go along in parallel, that's when the problem happens, right? As long as our desires are also in alignment with what Krishna is desiring for us, then everything is nice. The moment my desires go in this direction, Krishna desire in that direction, then the problem arrives. But then at that time, we have to remember that Krishna is supreme. My desires and my goals are nothing. If he has set certain things aside for me, then that is what it is going to be, like that. Okay? And so to do that, it takes an effort. It takes a lot of practice also because Krishna is a controller. He likes to control, and we are parts and parcels of Krishna. So we also like to control. We like to control our life. We like to control others. We like to control our destiny. But nothing is in our hands. Everything is already designed by Krishna. It's already there. He has given us, but he has given us the free will. So we have to understand that in 8th chapter that we read for such a long time, right? It said this world is a place full of miseries. Now, if this world is a place full of miseries, then what do I do? Right? Krishna himself declared this world is a place of misery and you have put me here, right? Yeah.
Surrender.
So surrender to Krishna. So the more you resist, I remember 10, 15 years ago, I had a lot of pain in my hands. Karima, you might remember that. And had to be out of work for 6 months. Yeah.
True.
And then finally, the doctors ultimately said, you go for acupuncture. So I went to she was from Thailand, I think, is a very sweet lady, the doctor. So I went to her, and then that was the first time I was going for acupuncture. And all that I knew was acupuncture is needles. So the moment she would move her hand, right, then to put the needle in the body, my whole body would go stiff. And then she would put the needle and there will be pain, so I would resist the pain. And then she said something which was an eye opener and a real life changer for me. She said, I was not initiated at that time, so she used my legal name, Sandhya. She said, Sandhya, embrace the pain. It was such a different thing and such a different thought process for me. That pain for me was something that you always avoid and abhor and push away. And what is she saying? That embrace the pain. But then the moment, she said that, and then after that, all the needles were painless. And then I'm getting acupuncture for the last 15 years, to the extent that I try my best to get everything sorted out through acupuncture, like that. So so even when things are not going according to our plans or according to our wishes, if we take it as Krishna's thing, then we should practice to embrace the pain. And Krishna says in 14th chapter, 14 words of the second chapter, he says, Martha sparshas tu konteya chito chut sukha dukkada agam apaniyo anityastam titiksha sabharta. So he said that these happiness in life and distress in life. Now I want all of you to close your eyes and think about all the happinesses that came in your life and all the distress that came in your life. Neither one of them was permanent, right? Neither one of them is permanent. So he says they are like the seasons, they come and go. So when we understand this philosophy and we understand this way this material world operates, is that they come and go. So when the misery comes, then you know that it will go. One day the misery will also go away, right? So we should not be very crestfallen when there is misery in our life. And on the other hand, we should also not be very escalated when there is happiness in our life. Yeah, दिमाग चढ़ गया बोलते ना, दिमाग आसमान में चला गया. Why? Because when that opulence is also going to go away, then you will feel bad. So adhere, a person who doesn't sway in the good and the bad, that is what we try to be. And one thing that's going to help us a lot is that these are temporary in nature. And I use it a lot when there is this distress in my life, and there's always something or the other, that this will also go away. This will also go away. And also, there is something known as experience of life. Those who have lived for like 65 years of their life will know more than what you would know as, a 50-year-old or a 40-year-old or a 30-year-old or a 20-year-old. But there's nothing to beat experience. Experience comes from experience, right? For example, if somebody was insulting to you, somebody insulted you, or somebody did something and you're feeling bad about it, right? I mean, there were times when I could feel bad for 7 days, not saying anything, but just feeling bad inside the heart, crying inside the heart, generally being miserable, repeating that thing over and over again for 7 days, 24/7 in my head, feeling totally miserable. Why did they do that? Why they are so bad and all that kind of stuff, right? Now, over a period of time, when you go through that experience, you realize that, yes, it was very painful at that time. It took me 10 days to overcome that one insult that somebody gave me, but I did overcome it. But that means that even if somebody is insulting me now, right, after 10 days, it'll go away. So that's a very good thing to think about and to anchor yourself on, that this will go away. This too shall pass. This also will go away. Right? And to understand God's hand. Sometimes the worst kind of things happen. And I tell you that story. I've told that story so many times, and I will finish this with that story. That there was a king. There was a king, and he had a very wise minister. And this wise minister had this thing of saying that, there's
Everything
something.
happens for your good.
Yeah, he was to, this too shall pass. This too shall go away.
Mhm.
That's good. That's good always coming out of it. So one day, the king was very, he was trying to put the what is that word called, the string on his bow. And as he was trying to put the string on his bow, the string snapped and it cut his finger like that. The top of his finger just got cut off. He was in a lot of pain, and the minister was right next to him. And then the minister said, whatever happens, happens for the good, and this will also pass. Because the king was in pain, right? The king was very angry. He was in pain. When you are in pain, as said, the mind doesn't work. So he ordered him to be thrown into the worst dungeons, in the fortress, in his fort. And so the poor man was thrown over there, and the king was living. And then after this, the finger became okay. Then he went out on hunting. The kings go out on hunting, right? He went on hunting, and then he was separated from the rest of his troops, and he was lost in the jungles. And then finally he heard some drums beating. So he said, oh, there's a village over there. And he was like Parishit Maharaj, he was very thirsty and hungry and lonely and everything. So he goes into that direction and he says there's a village there and people are dancing, drums they are playing like that. And there was some Bhil Jati was there, right? The tribals who live in the forest. And so when they go there, the king comes, and so they all rush after the king, and then they give him very nice food. They bathe him. They give him very nice food. They put on very nice clothes on him, and then slowly, and this this crescendo starts. The drums start in a beating to a very high crescendo, and then suddenly they bring out a knife, a sword, and that's when the king realizes that these are tribals, and they were doing a sacrifice, a human sacrifice, and they had found the king to kill. And then he was very afraid, but he couldn't do anything because there were so many of those tribesmen. So they catch hold of him, they put it on that wooden slab, and the man was about to bring the sword down. And then the main priest who was conducting this human sacrifice, he said, wait, because when he looked at the king, he saw that a part of his finger was missing, and he said, no, we cannot offer a human being which doesn't have full body parts. So they let him go. So then he returned back. Somehow he returns back to his palace, and he feels so bad about it, because then he realizes that because his finger was cut, that's why his life was saved. And so he came back. He was very unhappy for what he had done and said to his friend. And so we have to be very careful also about what we say to others. And so then he brings him back. And then he says, he's very apologetic, and he tells him that, please forgive me, I made such a big mistake, but because of, you had very rightly said that whatever happens, happens for the good. And so his friend, the minister, just smiled. But then the king was again pally with him. And then he just asked, he said, okay, all that is fine. I mean, I can understand Krishna had a way and a reason for he saved my life that way ahead of time, even before I knew that something bad is lying for me in the future. He already made arrangements for me to avoid that. But then he said, but tell me, what good came out of, I threw you into the dungeon, it's bad place, not good food, insect, worms, all of them, rats, all of them were there, and you suffered so much. What good was that? How can you prove that, that was also for your good? So then the wise man, the minister, smiled at the king, and he said, you know what? If you had not thrown me into the dungeon, I would have been with you and together in the hunt, and both of us would have been lost. And if they had not got you, if they did not find you suitable for sacrifice, they would have looked at me and they would have said, well, he has got all his 5 fingers, let's kill him. So all these miseries that come into life, they might at that time seem to be too big, right? And one of the things that I learned when I was young, and it was a very good piece of advice that somebody gave me, and that was, and I'm just going to demonstrate that with this, and that was that if you have got troubles, they said troubles are like pebbles, right? Pebble is a small piece of stone, okay? So this is a very small piece of stone, and so when you are looking at this piece in my hand, right? What else do you see on the screen when you see this?
This only. This only, pebble only we are seeing.
What else do you see on the screen?
You, hand.
Isn't it? Right? So similarly, when this pebble is in my hand and I keep it away from me, I'm able to see the pebble, right? I'm also able to see my face, my shawl, and the sea behind it, right? But if I start bringing the pebble close to my eyes, then I will stop seeing everything. I will only see the pebble. So troubles are like pebbles. The more you bring close to them, the more constantly think about them, they will overcome and overtake your whole life. Your complete life will be overtaken. So keep them away. They are small. Don't make them big. Right? That's an art as well. So 2 things to remember: troubles are like pebbles. Don't keep them too close, and they go away. They go away. Sometimes we have misfortunes in life, and there's a saying that misfortunes come on horseback. They come on horseback means very fast. So misfortunes, they come on horseback, but they depart on foot. So they take a long time to go away. They'll come very fast without us knowing. And they seem to depart on foot because we are fighting. Why do they seem to depart on foot? Why they seem to be going so slow? Because we have made them very big. And I always say that whenever you feel miserable, whenever you feel everything is going so bad in your life, always think about and focus on somebody who is less fortunate than you. And when you focus on people who are less fortunate, there's this famous saying, right? That a man said, this very famous saying, it said that I always used to complain that I did not have enough shoes till I met a man who had no feet.
Yes.
Right? So we should be aware of it and think about and look around and see how fortunate we still are. How fortunate we still are. Right? And then also to stay leveled. And that's why there's Bhagavad Gita to be read again and again, over and over, again and again. Because there's so much of wisdom there. Right? So Krishna is never angry with us, Garima.
Mataji, can you
Yeah.
give a few minutes of alone time to me?
Sure. I need to go to the kitchen to cook some food, but I'll talk to you from there. Will that work? Garima?
Yeah, Mataji.
Okay. All right then. Vanchikalpatrubhyascha
Rubiksha
kripasindhubhyo
Kripasindhu
patitanam pavnebhyo
Nebeo Vaishnavebeo Namo Nama Anantkoti Vaishnav Vindiki Jai.